everybody, welcome to Naughty by Imagination. I'm your host Napoleon, and we're going to be reading some fan fiction. Today is DBZ again, because so what? Today's selection says From Friends to More by Inu Kailani? Inukailani. So Inu Kailani, I'm guessing that's what that is. The description reads, this is just a short, lemony Goten/Trunks one-shot. Requested by Charismatic Beauty. Okay. The problem I have with this, just looking at it, which is, I had a problem with it earlier, but, I've never read I know I said this last episode, I'm a basic shipper, so I've never thought about Goten and Trunks together. Honestly, I don't like Trunks as a character. Like, I just don't. He gets on my fucking nerves. But, yeah, so the thing I have a problem with this thing, staring at it, is the way it is written. All the ones I've seen, if they're not spaced out like sentence by sentence or part by part, they're broken up by like paragraphs, normally how it's supposed to be written. So you get like a paragraph, 3 to 5 sentences, and you get a space. You get another paragraph, then you get a space. This is all one passage. Nothing but letters and words just just squeezed together in this block of fucking massiveness. And okay, I know I can't read, so I might have a little bit of trouble with this. Anyway, it says this is just some GT lemony goodness. I didn't watch GT. I know about Goku getting turned back into a little boy or to a child, Pan being older, Bula being older, Vegeta's mustache. So just basic shit. I know basic shit when it comes to, like, Baby, I know basic shit. The last episode I can even recall or think of is, I think Baby had taken over the planet, and Pan was, like, the only one who wasn't taken over, and, like, Gohan and Videl, and they were all looking at her like this evil stare, and they were saying something to her, shit ran off, and, like, Goku was in hell or some shit. I don't remember, but I didn't watch GT, so whatever. We're about to experience this together for the first time, so whatever. Trunks and Goten had just finished a grueling sparring session. They were both sitting out in the grass, shirtless, breathing hard while drinking bottled water. Goten laying down in the grass, looking up in the sky, while Trunks was sitting down on an arm across. What? While Trunks was sitting down, an arm across one of his knees, seemingly lost in thought. Goten, that could have been broken up with a comma, but whatever. Goten had turned to his side, facing Trunks, a hand holding up his head while watching him. Yeah, why don't you have commas here? It's weird. I mean, all this block could have had some punctuation in it, at least a little bit. Hey, Trunks, said Goten, seeming to come to some kind of internal decision after watching his long-life friend. Yeah, Goten, what's up? Trunks inquired while tilting his head slightly to look at the younger boy. Goku... Wait, hold on. Sorry. Put my phone on vibrate. Don't have the vibrations in it. Anyway. Oh, Trunks... Oh, wait, no, I just skipped something. Oh, okay. Trunks inquired while tilting his head slightly to look at the younger boy. Goten seemed to be having some kind of internal struggle with the words till he blurted out, Have you ever had sex? Why is that one word? I guess because he's blurting it out like, have you ever had sex? But that don't need to be one word. Trunks looked at his friends curiously. I know I'm a genius and all, but are you really a genius, or is your mom a genius? Whatever. I know I'm a genius and all, but I'm still going to need you to speak slower. Now let's try this again. What was your question? Goten blushed a little while rubbing the back of his head embarrassingly. Still, he took a deep breath and tried again. I mean, I was asking if you ever had sex, if with a guy or considered it at all. Trunks tilted his head, still watching Goten. No, I've never really thought about it. I don't exactly have a problem with it. I just know it'll be different than being with a woman. Why don't you... Punctuation is key, guys. Commas, periods, quotation marks. These are your friends. These are your friends. These are basic friends. These are your friends that will never steer you in the wrong direction. Unless you don't know how to use them properly, and then they will steer you in the wrong direction. Okay. After Trunks' answer, there was silence across the clearing. Trunks, Goten said while placing a hand on his friend's shoulder. I kind of have there's no fucking... Anyway. I kind of have a confession to make. I love you. I mean, I'm in love with you. It's been... Oh my god, this is gonna piss me off. This is gonna make me mad. It's been going on for a while now, for the better half of my entire life. Trunks didn't know exactly how to take the news. Oh, okay. Trunks didn't exactly take the news well at first. He freaked out and jumped up, detaching Goten's arm. So that's where the question came from. Do you expect me to want to have sex with you now? Is that it? He said, heavily breathing. Trunks, please, don't get mad, okay? I tried so freaking hard to let it go of seeing you with all those girls, going through all those breakups with you. I was always by your side through everything. We grew up, we're best friends. I'd never treat you the way they did. I'd never hurt you. I'd try to get rid of these feelings, but they won't go away. If anything, it's just getting stronger. I've learned to... Why won't... This is making me mad. Like, there's no fucking commas. I hate this shit. I really fucking hate when people write like this. Like, okay, I'm not gonna sit here and say I'm the fucking Shakespeare of fan fiction, but I know how to write a sentence. Like, this shit pisses me off, especially as a writer myself. Like, grammar is huge to me. Grammar and punctuation is huge to me, and I get angsty as fuck and irritated as shit when I make basic mistakes and I read over them and I'm just like, fuck. And this shit makes no sense. Like, maybe, okay, I should cut them some slack because it could be possibly written by a child. But look, if you're old enough to write two men fucking each other in the ass, you're old enough to know where the fuck to put a comma and a period. I'm sorry. It just makes me really fucking upset. Like, God, it's irritating as shit. I can't read already, and you're just gonna make this shit harder for me to read. Fuck. Anyway. But it won't go away. If anything, it's getting worse. I've learned to accept my feelings, maybe. Maybe you can accept me, too. I see the way you look at me sometimes while we're watching TV or hanging out. You love me too, Trunks. You just have to accept it now. For both of our happinesses. Fuck. What if he don't like you? That's that fuckboy shit. Like, what if he don't like you? Trunks called defendingly and ran his hand through his lavender locks and looking up at Goten through his lashes. You're fucking crazy, man. You know that? Goten started chuckling as well as while moving closer. Maybe I am, but I love you. And you love me, so I guess that means I'm crazy. You're kind of crazy, he whispers. He whispers lips a breath away from Trunks, whose eyes go wide as Goten leans in those last few millimeters and kisses him. Yeah, you know what a millimeter is. You know what a fucking... Anyway. The kiss was rough at first, both of them having to feel for the other, and then Trunks grabs Goten by his gi pants and pulls him closer till his body is flush against his own, feeling every muscle, their erections rubbing against one another, making them both moan out and take advantage of their open mouths to use their tongues and explore. The kiss had gone from sweet and innocent to dirty in what seems like seconds. Trunks biting Goten's bottom lip as he pulled on Trunks' hair. What felt like hours but could have been minutes or seconds later, they separated, breathing heavily. You want to go back to my place? Asked Goten, lips swollen from their kiss from their kissing, Trunks gave him a little smirk that had Goten's erection paying extra attention. "I'll race you there," he said as he took off Goten needed a minute to process what he was. Oh my god. This is a fucking run-on sentence. Well, he was about to live out one of his fantasies and took out after the man he loved. 5 minutes later, Goten had reached his apartment. Trunks had a key, so he was already inside. Leaning up against the wall, fully naked now, was that dangerous-looking smirk on his face. "What took you so long? I was growing old waiting," Trunks said before he turned and walked to the bedroom. Goten's heart was racing. Goten's heart was racing. He was doing this. He was doing this. This was really happening. He was going to get to have sex with Trunks. He would be so pissed if he was dreaming. He pinched himself just to check. He wasn't. Took off the rest of his clothes and followed Trunks into the bedroom. He was spread out on the bed, his hands behind his head. Goten pinched himself. Oh shit. Goten took a minute just to look at him. His tan, muscled skin, his long lavender hair, his strong, capable hands. That was a long sentence. No comma. Goten was in heaven up until Trunks threw him a bottle of lube and a condom. Then he rephrased his internal statement. Now he was in heaven. Goten crawled up the bed to Trunks, who was watching him the whole time. Till he reached him, then Trunks turned on his stomach, arched his back, and presented himself to Gohan, who was already lubed up one finger and licked his hand. "Wait, did you lick the lubed hand? Did you lick your hand and then lube your finger, or did you lick the lube hand? Either way, it's gross. Lube don't taste very nice. It's gross. Don't ask me how I know. It's gross." His hand he used to grab hold of Trunks, slowly no, I was right. Slowly pumping him, listening to his moans as he planted while he was pleasuring Trunks with one hand. He used the other to tease his hole before slowly putting his whole finger inside him, letting him get used to it while still jacking him off to keep him loose. As Trunks adjusted to the first finger, Goten put in another one and started to scissor him. Anyway. Opening him up more before he added a third one. Slowly opening him up till Trunks growled for him to get it on with already. Okay. Oh, just get on with it already. Goten removed both hands. It's not both, it's both. Goten removed both hands while Trunks grumbled to get and place the condom on and lube himself up. He positioned himself behind Trunks, one hand on the older man's back, another lining himself for finally. And then there's an explanation. Okay. He pushed all the way in and bottomed out. They both stayed still for a moment, adjusting to the new feeling, Goten biting his lip to hold himself, for this wasn't going to last very long. Then, slowly, he began to move, that is, until Trunks growled at him to hurry up. Then he grabbed him by his lavender hair and started pounding into him quickly and long. Then slowly he began to move, that is, until Trunks growled him to... Oh, fuck, I just read that over again. Because it's not fucking separated. This is supposed to be an experience about two men fucking. And this is literally an experience about what not to do about reading a fucking story. Writing a story, because this is irritating as shit. Like, this is more of a struggle than it is fun. God, fucking shit. Goten quickly grabbed a hold of Trunks' hips, and it's Goten... What? Oh. Again, because it's fucking put together, and I don't know where it ends and what it begins, and it all blends together. Oh, wait, I fucking skipped the line, too. Leaning over him to bite his shoulder and to use the other hand to quickly pump Trunks to completion. With all the new senses, the feel of being completely full, as well as Goten's calloused hands on his rock-hard dick. It didn't last long, and Trunks was coming with a groan all over Goten's sheets. Goten quickly grabbed a hold of Trunks's hips and pounded into him. There was a huge crack, but neither of them were paying any attention as the sound of skin slapping against skin and the moans and growls that filled the air, and one was whispering the other's name. I mean, there's no need for you to whisper. You're probably loud already. They couldn't really care about much else. Finally, Goten came with a roar. And with a roar? Is he a fucking bear or something? The lion? Finally, Goten came with a roar and a final push before he flopped onto Trunks' back. Before rolling over, throwing an arm around the other man's waist, while both males tried to catch their breath. Finally, after a couple minutes, Trunks said, "You know, it's my turn to be on top next time. Oh, and we're going to have to get you a new bed and fix the wall, too." Goten simply smiled because there was going to be a next time. No, I'm glad there isn't a fucking next time. This was fucking hard to read. Nobody deserves to read this twice. Shit don't make no fucking sense. 2 reviews. Oh. They're both praising. No, fuck that. Tell him how to write. Teach him how to write correctly. Fuck. Don't make no damn sense. Get on my fucking nerves. I mean, if we're talking about, like, story-wise, I guess it was okay because, you know, whatever. Like, it was, I don't know, it was okay. Like, fucking Goten and Trunks. Again, I don't really care for Trunks as a person, but I guess them having sex 1 minute it's just like, oh, you think I'm gonna fuck you now? Like, because you told me you like me. Next minute is, I'll race this in my house. Like, they really don't have no type of, like, second thought about fucking these. Or they have a second thought about fucking these people. It's just like, what? No way. And in 2 seconds they're fucking. Like, okay. But this, don't write like this. Please. Please don't write like this. And please, for love God, don't write like this and ask somebody to read it. Or, you know what? Yes. Write like this and then ask somebody to read it, because then somebody will have to tell you not to write like this. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous how clumped up it is. It's run-on sentences. There's sentences that could have been broken up with a comma, with a semicolon. Like, it's easy for you to continue the sentence on because you can keep going on with the same subject and it's the same sentence and you just use a semicolon if that's how you want to use it. Like, but for it to be this clumped up, you don't know what, like, I'm not gonna even lie, I skip sentences. I did it here, but they blend into each other. There's no stopping, there's no pause, there's no nothing. And just fuck. If you can write about 2 guys fucking each other in the ass, if you can write about 2 guys being fucking safe with condoms and lube, about expressing each other and love and what, or I guess if that's what you think love is, just telling somebody you like them or you love them a lot and then fucking them. Like, if that's what y'all think feelings are, if you can write about feelings, you know how to use a period and a comma. It's not that fucking hard. And then the statements were blending in with the quotes. Like, good. Sorry. I'm sorry. I hate that shit. Anyway, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed that. You probably didn't, because I was struggling and I was getting fucking frustrated the whole time. Unless you liked seeing me get frustrated and struggle the whole time, then I'm glad I could, you know, commend you, or not commend you. I'm glad I could help you with that. Anyway, this has been Naughty by Imagination. I'm your host, Napoleon, and I'll see you next time, hopefully with a better written story. Bye-bye.